Have you ever picked up trash just for no reason? César, the founder of Clean Something for Nothing from Luxembourg, has taken trash picking on a completely different level, building a global community and a business out of connecting people through picking litter and striving to build a litter-free world. We're talking to César at the Young Innovators Festival in Graz in Austria in 2024, where he came to pick up his award for being one of the best European young innovators using digital technology to do good in his own local context, but also impact the world for better. In addition to being a very interesting story about César's journey and the impact that he is making, his story has a profound impact on me personally. At the time of our conversation, I was also going through my personal challenges, deciding on what is my passion and what would I be obsessed with to do with my time on a daily basis. And hearing him talk about his passion for his mission to clean the world of litter has a profound impact on my decisions that I have taken since. So join me and let's discover how any person, just like you and me, can make a difference, one litter at a time. Thanks for joining me on the IX3, where we talk about insight that leads to inspiration, that leads to impact. And I would totally love to hear about the insight that has led you to start Clean Something for Nothing.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. How it started, it was not meant to be a company. It started by feeling bothered by litter. Just suddenly one day I saw the litter there and it bothered me, and I decided to do something about it. As simple as going to the kitchen, grab a bag of trash, and 5 minutes or 10 minutes max, I would clean up the path near my home. It was something mega simple, as you can see. I didn't do any rocket science. But then I realized, like, many clicks happened on my head. I was like, oh, look, I created value in a way. And then I thought about the concept of value, and I said, value creation in 5-10 minutes, good for me, but good for my parents, neighbors, anybody passing by is gonna appreciate a bit better the place he's walking or driving through. And I said, that's nice. What if everybody would stop littering and start to do small actions? And then, yeah, that's how it started.
Was it instant in that one picking up litters, all of this clicked, or did it take longer time?
To be honest, that was a major click. And then another major click was as soon as I went on the internet and social media and I saw more people. I was not the only one. There were many people.
So you just searched for people picking trash or something
hashtag litter picking. Then I started to see some results. Not too many like today. That's a really great sign. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go now and do cleanups regularly and post the hashtag Clean Something for Nothing. That's how it all started. I created this account and then I did a road trip on Eastern Europe. And everywhere I would camp, before taking out tables or chairs, I would just dedicate 5 minutes to clean the area and then post it. So eventually this hashtag became viral with 16 or 17,000 posts, which is a very long hashtag to type.
Yeah, it is.
You can say.
But it was pure coincidence. You just started posting it and then you started seeing that there are more people using the hashtag posting it, or?
No, not all coincidence. I was very consistent machine. I was also never showing my face. I was just showing a bag of trash, me hanging it and with the finger like that, and then putting the flag of the country it was picked up. And some small motivation. And then more people was also like, I also clean something for nothing, I do clean something for nothing. And then we built a community by the time, with a few years, because the first bag of trash picked up was in 2018. I was a hobby a long time ago.
What were you doing before when you started to use the hashtag and started to actually be an active citizen doing something for nothing?
I studied international business. I've been working as a salesman and also as purchasing. I've been also head of production before for an international company of interior design and handmade furniture.
So you were already touching the ecology and handmade.
In a way, because it was manual, because I was working with a small atelier, but in another way it was really bad because it was luxury interior design and some people change the interior of the houses every 2-3 years.
Wow.
as like fashion, and it was really not really nice to see. And then I worked in fashion for 3 years, which was even worse because this industry is mega polluted. But now I think I'm on the track. I'm really happy that I managed to get to work full time on this mission.
How long did it take you?
It was a long time because, as I said, my friend Lester and me built and launched the app in 2022. For 4 years, we were actively just picking up trash, building the app, and then that was the very first push, the app development. And it's been a side job, and it's been like that until less than a year ago that I jumped full time and we created this social impact company.
That's huge, especially that I remember from your application, and we were looking at judging the project, that you're present in so many countries and you're actually actively working with organizations around the world. So can you tell us a bit about the process of how you went from picking trash and using a hashtag, now you have an app? How does it actually work?
Pretty natural. So you are on Instagram and you end up following each other, sometimes even commenting, sometimes doing video calls. And when you visit the country, you meet in person and you even know the people by their name.
And you mean, then you're following, you mean the people who are launching similar initiatives that are picking trash or stuff like that? Yeah.
Correct. We are, let's say we are an enabler, a software that connected the groups, different groups. We have from Rave the Planet Berlin, which is the guys that we used to do of parade. They are very into litter picking after the event. From Berlin litter pickers, for example, or groups in Spain, France, the US, who gather together every now and then to clean up trash.
So is that outside of what you do? Was that a thing already, that there were groups of people who are...
There were some, and then I see that growing a bit more. I see in litter picking something that is less weird. If you go with the right mentality, it's not weird at all. It's some exercising. If you do cleanups, it's meditating when you have the litter picker. It's impactful. So I only see benefits. And if somebody looks at you, you shouldn't feel embarrassed. Probably the person would be reflecting on why is this person doing that? It's not paid for that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't throw my cigarette on the floor. Actually, it's just way to the solution of a litter-free planet, which is our ultimate vision, is to live in a litter-free planet. We were living in a litter-free planet in a way like 200 years ago.
Before we had all the plastic packaging that is now remaining, absolutely.
And if I remember your presentation, right? You were putting how the world and human exist in perspective. We exist here as Homo sapiens from 220,000 years, I think. It's only 100 years that littering exists. We shouldn't feel like we have to live with that for the rest of the times.
Yeah.
So it's about changing mentalities, quitting littering habits, and taking actions for a litter-free planet.
It's actually, I was born in Lithuania in the Soviet occupation, where they were not consumeristic society that had so much of everything. Actually getting products, even bananas was like a big thing. So let alone all the packaging, plastic packaging that is so freely available now. And we've gone through, I remember literally driving somewhere with my parents where throwing an apple through a window was a totally normal thing to do because it's organic, right? So it will go back to nature. And then we went through the stage of, okay, now we're capitalist democracy with all these products flooded into Lithuania. And then we went through a phase where people still thought that throwing anything through a window, because that's a normal thing to do, was normal. But actually Lithuania had done a very intense social activation campaign where in Lithuania I even heard some people who live in Switzerland. They came to Lithuania and said, oh my God, this is so clean. There is no litter on the streets. So I think that our government has done something really well, instilling in our minds that it's not the right thing to do. And now that I go to Asia and I see the litter everywhere, I think that they too have gone through that consumerism expansion recently, and that's why probably it is so littered. But that's me talking for way too long in your interview.
No, I absolutely agree on that point.
But how do you see the world? Do you see that some parts are more keen to establish or have these groups and participate, or do you see very different approaches to litter across different countries?
Depends on where you put the littering problem on your scale of problems. So in some undeveloped countries, it might be not on top of the list. There are other more crucial problems to tackle. So that's the only difference. Some countries may not feel as a priority, although the problem might be even bigger than in countries that see it as a priority. So for example, we have groups, we have a team leader in Uganda, and even the stratus on the soil has layers of trash in some areas, like different layers of of waste.
Oil is trying to produce there, no? Like up to millions of years.
Yeah. But yeah. So I see that more people is actively taking the lead. It's, as I say, it's a fun activity, really. If you practice it with the right mindset and right people, you can bring your kids, family. It's like in our app, we have people from youngsters to like retired people. Everyone is really welcome, and it's really transversal. So like everyone can.
So going back to the question of how do you organize your business now? How does it work?
Okay.
What's the process?
So let's say, in one hand, we have this community of people who pick up the trash, who are maybe they have their own team with their own volunteers, and on the other hand, we would never take money from them. Obviously, they are doing already a great job. On the contrary, we want to provide more value to them and showcase their efforts. So that's why our Instagram today serves as a showroom for our community. So every month we at least showcase 2 people or groups from our app to our audience, so more people follow them, be inspired by them, and get the ball rolling. So the business model is not with this user base, it's with companies and municipalities. We also work with schools, but so far we haven't received no money. So I think they have less budget often. I'm discovering how this process goes. Municipalities goes a bit slow as well, although it makes a lot of sense to implement the app in a municipality level. So that's one of the things we do. We provide the app as a citizen engagement tool. Basically, citizens are part of the solution with the commune, municipality, to either clean trash or either alert of illegal dumping, forest or everywhere. And then it's very easy through the app to give some small rewards, like free tickets, vouchers for the swimming pool or whatever, any service that the commune might offer. So that's one of the proposals, that you pay per subscription. You get 1 year, you pay a certain.
So as a municipality subscription that then distributes the app or encourages people to, okay.
He promotes the app, we provide them a landing, so every user understands what's going on, the why, the what, and the how. That's it. And then is the company aspect, which is actually the one we're focusing more because they understand really.
The CSR, right?
Yeah,
like all
absolutely.
For social responsibility.
That's where we work on CSR. So we offer them 3 things. We are now with the sales hat, so anything that gives us money and propels our mission, we will double click on that. So we have organized multiple cleanup events. This is a 2-hour activity with the employees. We do that very nicely with materials and with a small introduction to the littering with facts and things like that. We have drinks, music, it's a big, nice thing. We also offer the app as a service, similar to the municipality. Some companies, they want to launch cleanup month or whatever, and they activate multiple branches. The app makes it very easy for all the branches to take action, and at the end of the day, you see a nice reporting of every single user, in this case, employees. And then this, the best for the last, it's our Pick and Plant program. Basically, that's the lazy way for companies to contribute, in lazy in the sense that they just give the money. And with this money, we try to double the impact of our community. So that means how? Every kilo collected in the app means 1 tree planted in agroforestry. And that means that our users, we already launched a nice survey, 85+% they are likely to clean more, to post more, if they know that every kilo means 1 tree. So we take out what nature doesn't need and we put back trees. And then we take accountable the company. So our users know that it's thanks to this company that these kilos will be also transformed into trees. So everybody gets their share.
And the CO2 offsetting credits
and the CO2 offsetting,
really plays into this.
Yeah, we basically calculate it. We give the information yearly and we estimate a maximum of 20 years span of the life of the tree, although it will probably live way longer, but that's what we provide. Yeah, we don't plant. We have a tree planting partner that is doing an amazing job.
But what do you do with the litter?
What
do people do with the litter? Because that's the most important question. It's collected. What do we do with it now?
Throw it back on the forest.
No, just in the ground. Wait for the oil.
Actually, that is a very good question, but for now we don't track the disposal. We have thought about many ways on how to track also what happens afterwards. We know people, of course, they throw it either on the bin or recycle it. Some people even show the photos of how they recycle. So yeah, I cannot tell you what people do with it for now. But we started a small pilot in Luxembourg for recycling cigarette butts. And why cigarette butt? Because it's the most found item in every cleanup. We dump like 137,000 cigarette butts every second in the world. And one single cigarette butt is able to pollute up to 100 liters of water, of non-salty water. So that it's not cotton. So many people think it's cotton, they just throw it. I don't blame them. We are also not into the pointing out fingers who's to blame. It's more we have to be aware of location. So the things we're doing is tracking recycling of cigarette butts. And we're starting to work with a spin-off of the University of Luxembourg, who has an AI image recognition model they built to recognize type of litter. That will really bring us a lot of value if we are able to implement it, to understand what kind of litter you pick and then categorize.
It's almost like through an app you can recognize.
Just with a photo or a video. It works in both ways.
And there are so many initiatives on producing 3D printing material out of litter. Producing furniture in Bali, for example, this company that is collecting and then turning into very nice modern art furniture and things like that. So it's the whole circular economy becomes very interesting, and then partnerships in that space, if at some point that becomes relevant.
Multiple ways.
Yeah, but I guess it's very clever of you as a business thing to do to count, because we can probably assume that if people cared enough to collect the litter, spend their afternoon doing so, they most likely will not actually do anything.
That's the magic of it. And we believe that when you do litter picking, you love the place where you live more.
Yeah.
You care more for the thing. You have more mindful consumption because you think, why am I consuming all that much? Like, you will for sure never litter again if you ever did. There are so many positive aspects that happen. You may meet new neighbors, make friendships. For instance, my best friend where I live in Luxembourg is thanks to litter picking that I did. And you might meet really like-minded people. I can only literally say good points, and I'm not here like a guru, but it's totally true. It's only positive to do litter picking.
Absolutely. I totally agree with it. There is not a single negative aspect of it.
And I would, of course, we would not be anything without the community that is behind it, right? Those are the cornerstones of the project, especially the groups of people. Local cleanup groups. For us, these are the targets we have to protect and give value and put them here, because those are the real change makers.
How do you see the growth of the community? How do you see the world of community relationship with litter changing through your experience?
It's hard to say because I don't measure like how many litter was generated year 1 versus year 2 in certain countries, so I cannot really tell you. I can tell you my biased impression, which I think is positive. In Luxembourg, for example, we are finding a bit less litter compared to last year, where in the places where we are cleaning, because we cannot cover the whole areas of the whole country or the whole city. So biased opinion, but still I think it's progressing a little bit, but still a long way to go. If you see the budget that is spent every month to clean the street, that's considered like something that has to be done in every city, right? That's already huge. But okay, I can accept, of course, that even if there is no litter, we have to clean the streets, it's normal. But if you also count only littering in the size of the roads, 13 billion euros only in the EU, just for littering in particular. We are not counting cleaning the streets every morning of litter. That is always there. So huge amounts of money, very bad for the environment, because it enters into the ocean. 80% of all plastic you find in the ocean is coming from land, enters the food chain, enters our stomach, and it's really, it also has a lot to do with the consumption. Let's not be just like we have to dispose it correctly and we can consume as much. It's also related, everything is related in a way. You cannot say it's just one or the other. It's always grace.
In terms of the countries that you're at and how you're expanding, is that your conscious choice to go international from the offset, or was it all kind of coincidence more and it's growing naturally?
Naturally, unconscious. We were in English, right? We started with this hashtag in English, and it was used by many people, Spanish speaking or French speaking as well. Yeah. So since the community was global, we opened the app from day one to worldwide. So it's available everywhere, and it's translated into English, Spanish, and French. But yeah, it was global from day one. Actually, it's still niche, right? You don't find 1,000 groups of litter pickers in Spain. It's something still niche. And hopefully our goal is to disappear once the mission is completed, to be honest, because that will mean really no litter, back to 150 years ago.
How long do you think that will take for you to disappear because there is no need?
It's a very big problem, so unfortunately I think a long time. Or unfortunately for the business, but to be honest, for the mission it seems a bit far.
Yeah.
And if you see that consumption keeps on increasing.
But are the people who are participating increasing in picking litter?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. You can tell, you can easily track, you don't have to believe me, you can track the hashtag litter picking over the years, and how frequently it's being used. Or for example, plugging, it's a really nice keyword. Plugging comes from Sweden. Actually, Eric Armstrong invented this word. He is an athlete, and he decided to stop just running, to look at the chrono, and start to run while picking up litter to make Sweden litter free. He's put the word plugging international in Swedish, and this guy, the great thing about this is that it unites the world, regardless of education, background, financial income, whatever. We are all there, we are all picking up litter, we are all bending our knees and getting their hands dirty for the same cause. The only planet we have, the only home of all. It's simple and straightforward.
Are you looking at collaborating between the different initiatives?
We know many of them, and they know us because it's never a competence or a competition. It's more like always collaboration. And I must say always. I've never encountered one group or something that said, I don't want to collaborate with you, because no, it's never the case. People from India, Armenia, we have collaborations, many places.
What are the most interesting campaigns that you're super proud of that the community has done around the world?
I can tell you already, with the World Cleanup Day. That's do you know the World Cleanup Day, by the way?
I think I've heard about it, but
It's the biggest citizen mobilization in the world, originated in Estonia in 2018. The day is on the 20th of September. This year was part of the UN calendar. And to tell you that 19 million people mobilized for one day, clean up wherever they are. And that's really something mega inspiring since we started also. It was a coincidence that we started in 2018 as well. I mean, compared to the World Cleanup Day when we started, we were absolutely irrelevant because nobody knew us. And even today, the World Cleanup Day is the common meeting point and the entry door for anybody who wants to get started to this litter picking thing. So I would say I encourage everybody to join the World Cleanup Day. Let your school, university, municipality know about it, and even companies. And you can find your country leader. There is always one country leader. I am the country leader for Luxembourg, but there are so many more country leaders.
So this year's World Cleanup Day, how many community members did you contribute to that cleanup?
Hard to know if they do that because of CSFN or because somebody else, or because or they are from World Cleanup Day and they come to CSFN after. No, we should probably have this tracking, but we don't. To be honest, put many tracking. Is that the statistics go like that in the app because. In the past it used to be the third Saturday in September. Now it's always the 20 because it's part of the calendar. You cannot change. And this time it was on Friday, so people work. So you actually get that peak on the weekend. On the weekend as well.
So how many people do you think have actually participated with Clean Something for Nothing up to now? And how many hours have you tracked? What are your impact metrics that are you already tracking? Impact.
So last time I saw, we had 5,500 cleanups, 760,000 kilos of trash.
Wow.
Yeah, I can maybe say there are less users than cleanups. I would say maybe a number like this could be 3,000 participants, maybe. Because we have I'm doubling the number of users, probably more than that. Then.
More than that, then. If the group, what is the average size of the group? Probably like at least
that depends.
5.
It can be like 20 people, sometimes massive ones with 40, 50 people. But somewhere there. And 71 countries, I said, 6 million to 300 liters because we measured the volume. And we have a nice map where everybody can access to all the data. So cleanups, who is cleaning where, and you can see if you have people in your area.
I've seen that. It's working.
And you have challenges. You can also participate with other people, challenge each other. You have leaderboard, compete in a positive way, and level up your profile when you clean up more. We will open more endangered animals now, so you will understand that the more you clean, you level up, and you understand more about endangered species, because I think we've lost about 17% species in the last.
How do you connect that with litter picking?
It's just instead of putting an avatar, just putting an animal in danger of extinction, and then explaining more about why it's in danger, where are remaining, and more about the foundation of the animal who is fighting to protect them. Trying to link that our behaviors also influence animals.
And I remember that you are not inviting everybody who is picking up litter to register on the app, but it's more of a leader of a community. Are you planning to change that? Do you see an opportunity for everybody, every participant of that litter picking community? If they register, then they will become more active.
So, for example, you may see one cleanup.
Yeah, but actually
that
like
one
20
person,
or 30 people participated, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to figure out a way on how to onboard those other users and give them the reason to do that. And probably the reason could be implementing more gamification features, so they stick to the app more, and they have a bigger reason, like giving the trees, because some people only clean when they are in a team. They don't go solo. And for those people, maybe, we should do something.
It was just a kind of course, that the community is growing organically, which is amazing. Then it's one less thing that you have to think about and focus on as a founder.
And we would like to, maybe, this is something we haven't done yet, but give like a small incentive to people who invite other people and do their first clean, maybe planting a tree, or you have to think about ways.
Yeah. And let's go back to your business. How many people work with you right now?
So in the team we are two, actually. Lester, which is the mastermind behind the app, full stack developer. He's able to do a lot with a few resources. We always try, since we are very small and we had almost no time with our full-time jobs, we try to be very wise of our time, so very bootstrap. And although we have recently onboarded 2 volunteers, Myra from Greece is a marketing and SEO expert, starting to collaborate on that. And Tusuni, based in Budapest from Albania, is a social media expert. He's exploring other channels such as TikTok, book, and YouTube Shorts, and me, I'm more on the Instagram part, because we believe these actions could have kind of an easy viral impact. And
because
so,
especially you already have a use case. You've proved that once.
Algorithms change now. Hashtags are not useful anymore. It's just the algorithm who actually gives you the content. Hashtags are even gonna be I think, removed, or in a way not removed, but importance is low. So you need to be also very creative. Now it's only video, and we see a lot of noise as well. Anyway, we have to adapt to get the message out there organically, because we don't have the budget, and we always done it organically.
Do you see this becoming as your proper stream of income and a company that you can manage, or?
I really hope it will be like a proper one. This year we've done revenue, but it's still not something that is enough to get both of us a full-time salary or running. But we saw the green leaves, if you could say, and we see with the pick and plan that it can really scale heavily, because we have a lot of kilos every month, a lot of potential trees to be planted, and this will make more kilos to be collected, more people to be active, and more trees. So I only see positive things out of the Pick and Plan program.
So your focus now is going to corporates and earning revenue. How would you say is the growth of communities and users? Is it taking care of itself, more or less?
That's the trick, absolutely. You got it. You have 2 verticals. One is the organic. It doesn't give you any money, but it's the core of what you are. That's why also Tusun is doing a great job with social media, trying to also onboard new users. Although some of the users we have are already sticky. Some of them have done 400 plus cleanups in the app, or 300, hundreds of them. So we cannot never forget that. And then you need to sell, you need to survive, and you need to make money. And also keep the wheel
going. But it's also about you managing your priorities and your roadmap. So what is ahead? What is the most important thing for 2025 for you?
For 2025, ideally on board on the Pick and Plan program companies who actually want to stick for long term, who see the value. We want to integrate this pick and plant not only in packages selling, okay, you want to buy 500 trees and kilos, that you have.
Yeah.
We want to integrate it as part of their business. So we want to make a business that not necessarily is sustainable because it's like a lawyer firm and they cannot do much, for example, apart producing paper. But they could implement 1 tree planted and 1 kilo removed per every contract signed or per every onboarding or whatever. So we could integrate with that.
How is that going? How are you finding the sales process within corporates?
At the moment, it's challenging. For the team building activities and the app as a service is fine. But for the pick and plant, we just launched our new website yesterday.
Congratulations.
While in there we will market better our offers. And for the pick and plant, this is where I am focusing full time, most of my time now, to know how to do this approach so that they understand perfectly the value proposition, how long it will take to close the deal, and eventually doing a self-check-in.
So it's very interesting because you are, in many cases, it's a question of timing, and you are in the right timing because companies are offsetting CO2 emissions through buying and planting trees and investing.
It's important for them. I would love to make them understand the value of every euro they would invest in us. And we could provide to them in form of reporting. So that's I think the art is to show them clearly what's the value.
How are you planning to do that? How are you getting your voice heard?
On one hand, that's why we are also working on the SEO and marketing so that we can provide content of value through blog posts that eventually interest companies and eventually they find us through there. So outbound and inbound marketing. Also, I will do call interactions, so either calling or contacting directly on LinkedIn to potential CSR managers of companies. And since I am building a nice LinkedIn profile where I show everything we do, trying to build like notoriety and also confidence and trust, right? So they feel more appealing to answer and to get into discussion and then close myself with a video call or something. That's how I've done it so far, B2B sales. And now I'm learning to do these campaigns of emailing as well and all that, And also somebody told me from major incubator in Luxembourg, within half an hour he did a whole scan of my situation and he said one thing: keep yourself centered and don't burn out. I think that's crucial to always have that in mind, no matter how many tasks, problems, or whatever. Keep yourself centered, because if you burn, the whole thing burns, and it doesn't make any sense to reach to that level. So I'm trying to also be very mindful of that.
And that's such a good message and advice for anyone, as founders on the ground actually doing it, to keep centered and to understand what's right for you.
And to understand that the house can be on fire, but everything is just fine. You're having a meme with the dog holding the cup of coffee. I think it's a learning. I love it because I learned so much, but also I also have a nice support at home, my wife, my son. That also gives me a lot of energy when I come back.
So it is possible also to be a startup founder with a family.
I will tell you with the time. We created the company 1 month after the birth of my little one, and we would like to get a second one. I know more of that, but we will. I hope we will get through it. And also enjoy every moment. Enjoy with your family. Try to grasp every bit of life. At these moments as well. Try to enjoy every moment.
So what excites you most? Like when you wake up in the morning, what is the most exciting thing for you about your day and the future?
It depends. It's not even days, it's bad hour, good hour. Bad hour, good hour. To the point. In the morning you can feel that. Yeah, so some days are like full of energy, some others not as much at all. But I have an absolutely blind purpose inside. Like it's unbearable to explain. It's like
possession.
It's an obsession. Maybe. Maybe it's obsession. I don't see anything else apart from that. I don't see doing anything else. I just see ideas for that to get it grow. I think I've talked to many people. It's not only me. I'm not the visionary. There are many people out there. I talked to Toby. He's a overlander traveler, traveling with his van through dozens of countries in the world. And we were discussing how cleanups could really save the world in a way that he's traveling everywhere in Kazakhstan and East Asia. And he finds people, and every time he goes pick up trash, locals join him. He ends up meeting amazing. They see that he is caring for their land, and they are like automatically not speaking the language doesn't matter. It's creating bonds, uniting the people.
Universal language, right?
Absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, we all need some excuse to get in contact, right? I think humans are good by nature. We understand that, but today we are very polarized, very black and white. There is no gray in our brain. So we need to, in a way, find ways to see the reality. It's not because we want to follow some guru. It's the reality. We should be able to take out the polarization and see the reality. And I think being outside, connecting with other people is good. And if you do something good for your own community, it's even better.
As you said at the beginning, it's like expanding the consciousness. You're meditating, you're understanding that this is an important thing to do, and you will think about throwing something on the ground.
And I collect many feedback. We do, as I said, 2 posts of 2 groups from our app in our Instagram. And one of the questions is, the answer to the questions, who are you? Why litter picking is important? And that's the questions where we get a lot of feedback. For one person it's one thing, from another, and there are so many good reasons to think that it's important and it's a good thing.
Because we would think that there are probably like what comes down to 3, 4, 5. I don't want this to be dirty. I want to be outside, but no, you're finding more. What are the most interesting reasons you're discovering?
Actually, interesting is the meditating thing. Sometimes when we go with corporates, the employees tell us that like normally they have the head is not stopping to think, but then during this 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, they just focus on spotting litter, grab it, put it on the back, and they don't think about anything else but doing that. And then they come out of the activity and be like, it's been like if time stopped for a while, and then I am refreshed. Yeah, like meeting like-minded people as well, and also of course the core root is when you understand that it's a big problem. Yeah, obviously, right? You want to solve it or reduce it, and when you stop. When you end up thinking, okay, I won't be blaming nobody because I'm exhausted to pointing out fingers. I'm tired of saying, how. So I want to take action.
Internalizing responsibility, right? Internalizing it. That I can do something about it.
Exactly. What can I actually practically do apart from just protesting or
and it's
mad about
8 billion people if they pick 1 litter each.
Absolutely. You know, Toby, this person, you can find him on Instagram if you type the collector 2.2 kilo. He actually did some research. If each of us, 8 billion people, picks up 2.2 kilos of litter every year, there should be no litter.
How many bags of litter is 2.2 kilos?
About 25 liters of volume, you can fit 2.5.
Okay, and during a year, that's not such a significant number.
One bag of trash.
Is that not like enabling and encouraging and actually empowering people to make a change through such a simple thing?
Right.
Yeah. If we buy 1 item less as well in the supermarket,
can you imagine?
That is insane.
Absolutely. Can you imagine that?
That gives me goosebumps.
Like every single
person.
person.
A simple thing.
Yeah. I'm sure we will see a drastically big change in behavior if everybody would do more cleanup.
Every single person understands that. It's like already consciously thinking about it, and that's also an important part, right?
Yeah, the correct mindset. And I guess nobody that I know does litter picking unless they want to. So that's why the community is so nice, because only people who care and who want to are there. Yeah. There is nobody with toxic arguments there, polluting the thing. So when I open my Instagram, we are all like seeing amazing people everywhere in the world doing amazing
Your algorithm then shows you more of the positive things that people do around the world.
It's really great.
What role technology plays for you?
Connect.
Yeah. In the world where it's now considered to be also devising, there are still ways to use it for connection.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was amazing to meet people that I would never know otherwise. People from Armenia, people from South Korea that I met randomly in Europe when they came visiting, and I know them by the name, and we pick up trash together. It's really incredible.
I'm totally registering because whenever I have a walk and I see a litter, it literally I'm thinking, I have a choice to pick it or not to pick it.
Yeah.
And can I pick it now and make a change? But I never thought about taking a photo and registering somewhere and belonging to a community.
And our app last part, to differentiate from the rest, we analyzed like 15 apps. And we understood they were not very easy or not very user-centered.
Okay.
So we managed to make a very simple app. It would take you like 30
experience,
seconds to post a cleanup. It's like same as an Instagram post, not more than that.
Super awesome.
Less friction to use it.
Did you always care before you started picking up litter about causes greater than your immediate work? About the causes that affect us all or doing an impact for society?
I don't think I've been a bad guy, but I'm not especially being. But as I said, for me, the one amazing thing you can do also is being vegan or eating less meat. That already makes a huge difference. Apart from that, no. Really. I have thrown cigarettes on the floor in the past. Cigarette butts. When I was smoking. But yeah, I was not aware at all. And where today, I'm the guy who distributes pocket ashtrays in festivals or do campaigns and tell everyone about the pollution of the cigarette butts. Yeah. I think it's never late to take a good change. We don't have to be perfect, but we have to try to be better.
Going to my final question, if you had a magic wand and you could change one thing in your area, what would that be?
Oh, of course, I know it's easy. Quit littering.
Quit litter.
So our mission is connecting people, and our vision is a litter-free world in a conscious and collaborative society.
And you will be totally fine to not have this business anymore.
Probably there are so many other things to do, right? Like plenty of problems out there to solve, or plenty of nice companies to work for.
I guess then my goal was achieved.
Fatima?
And with that, I want to invite you to join César on his quest to clean the world from the trash. It's only 2.2 kilos per person per year, which is too simple not to do. Invite your employer, your family, your community, your neighbors. It's a fun activity that connects and also does good. It's too simple not to do. On that note, next week I will be bringing you another story from the edge of impact, where I will talk to the founder of Starving Artist. I hope to see you next week.